Hello everybody! Welcome to Agashi Review, where I review movies, dramas that you don't want to waste your time watching. I'll give you a synopsis, shorts review along with my thoughts and opinions, and don't forget to hit like and subscribe and leave a comment below. Now let's go into the review. Hello everybody, Agashi here today. So today I'm doing a K-drama review on the drama called A Business Proposal. It is based off of a webtoon. I did read parts of the webtoon, so it's very similar to each other. And it's a very short drama. I was expecting 16 episodes, but apparently I read into it, it's only 12 episodes. So Ajishi and I were able to watch the first 2 episodes of it, and more has came out and we watch as we go, and so far it's really good. Really like it. So there's 12 episodes. It airs on Monday and Tuesday. So I'm gonna go over the cast synopsis in the first 2 episodes with you guys. As for our cast, we have An Hyun-soo playing Kang Tae-moo, Kim Se-jong playing Shin Ha-ri, and Kim Min-kyu as Cha Sung-hoon, Seo In-ah as Jin Young-seo, Itook-hwa as Kang Da-gu, which is Tae-moo's grandfather, Choi Byung-chang as Shin Han-min, Hari's brother, Jung Young-ju as Han Mi-mo, Hari's mother, and Kim Kwang-gyu as Shin Jung-hae, which is Hari's father, and Song Wan-suk as Lee Min-woo. And there's tons of other people, like people in the company, people she works with, Sejong, Haeri, her team. The guy, he's actually one of the politician guy from Bad and Crazy, and it's hilarious because Ajishi and I were like, he looks like such a bum in here versus when he was in Bad and Crazy, he was like the politician whatever guy, you know, and he's all dressed up and everything, so it's hilarious. But anyways, moving on. As for the synopsis, Shin Ha-ri is a single woman, works for a company. She has a male friend, Lee Min-woo, who she has a crush on for a long time, but you know, learning that he has a girlfriend, she's heartbroken, you know, and all these things like that. And she has also has a friend, Jin Young-sung, who's the daughter of a chaebol family, a rich family, and she always takes her place on going on blind dates when her friends offered her money, because you know she's in a lot of debt and she's making ends meet for her family and her, and so she accepts her friends offer every time for blind dates. Sorry, airplanes. But then and so that she would go on the blind dates to reject the blind dates to make them look at her really bad, because she's playing Young-seo. And then she ends up going on a blind date, which is with Kang Tae-moo, who is the CEO of the company she works for. And now she's kind of like in a sticky situation, like, I can't do this is my boss, you know. So she just has to play very careful so he doesn't see her at the company, and you know, recognize that she's also the blind date person he went with. Well, for Kang Tae-moo, he is the CEO of the company that his grandfather found and created. His grandfather one day came up to him, set him up on upcoming blind dates because he's such a workaholic, and he wants his grandson to get married. His grandson is so annoyed with what his father's thinking, so he's just gonna go along with it. And the first person he meets at his blind date, he's just gonna marry her so that it can get over with it. And it ended up being Shin Ha-ri playing Jin Young-sung, and so he's going to marry her. So now she's like, oh shoot, I'm in a sticky situation because he thinks I'm Jin Young-sung, he wants to marry me, but the real Jin Young-sung isn't her. So it's a really long synopsis, but that pretty much gives you pretty much the first 2 episodes, but I'm gonna go ahead and recap with you guys so it fills in some of the spots. So the drama starts us off with seeing Kang Mu-tae arriving at the airport. He bumps into a woman spilling her coffee. She's about to burst out and yell at him. When she looks at how handsome he is, she can bring herself to yelling at him. He ignores her and keeps walking. His secretary follows him, Chang Sang-hoo, as they drive to the company, and Tae-moo is supposed to make his speech announcing that he's the new CEO for the company. Then Shin Ha-ri gets introduced as well, as she's one of the researchers for the company. So they do because the company is food, so they do food research and to see what tastes good with each other, what food complements each other, and the company takes on those and they make it, and then they put that on the store, restaurants, all these things like that. So She goes to the big meeting where the president's grandson is going to get introduced. Hari states to her coworker that she's been working at the company for over a year and she has not seen the face of the grandson before. Rumor has it that he's handsome. Sung-Hoo comes up and makes the speech on behalf of Kang Tae-moo instead. So we get to kind of see how Kang Tae-moo's character is. He doesn't really care to present himself to the company, so that's why a lot of people have not seen him before. A lot of higher up employees who cheats the company, he fires them, and he's such a workaholic. He's so dedicated to the company. He doesn't have any time for anything besides work and the company. And his grandfather has just had it enough with him because his parents passed away at a young age and he took in his grandson. Taking in his grandson, he put in so much time to creating the company to be good that he never got the chance to watch his grandson grow up. So he doesn't want his grandson to turn out to be like him. So that's why he wants to set up his grandson on blind dates so that he would get married and have a happy life versus how his grandfather lived and he was such a workaholic and he was never there for his grandson. So pretty much his grandson is turning into him and he doesn't want to do that. So the first date that Tae-moo has to go on is with the daughter of Marine Group, which is Ji Young-sung, and he's just like, I'm just gonna go with it and just get it over with because I'm tired of my grandfather breathing down my neck all the time. So we get to see Ji Young-sung and Shin Hari, who are best friends. They go way back, and Young-sung always make Hari goes on date before, and Hari would purposely mess up the date on purpose so that the guys would just leave her alone, because Young-soo believes that true love is out there somewhere and she'll meet him one day, and when she does, like, flowers will be falling around her, growing and everything like that. So she ends up sending Hari to go again this time, but Hari is like, I'm so tired of going on blind dates for you, I'm not gonna go. So she thought, I will pay you, and we're gonna go to the store, you're gonna get makeup, dress up, and it's all paid, it's all yours, you don't have to give me anything back. And she's kind of in need of more money because her family got into more situation problem. So Hari gets dressed up and she looks like a vixen going on the blind date, and she does many things to make the image of Young-soo bad, but she learns that her date is the chairman of her company, Kang Tae-moo. She tries to hurry up and end the date with him, but since he made up his mind that to get it over with and for his grandfather to leave him alone, he's gonna marry the first woman at his blind date, and even if she didn't go easy on him or whatever, he's gonna go with it and end up being Hari playing Young-soo. So things end off on a bad side on the first blind date with Hari, and she ends up running away and she runs into Sang-hoo's car, which she was supposed to pick up Tae-moo, and he got a glance of her, so this is kind of like a hint to us of he saw who Young-soo looked like. So she goes back and tells her friend, the real Young-soo, that the date was horrible and it was her boss at the company, but everything should be okay, and she's off the hook, she won't have to marry him. Well, Tae-moo is determined to marry Young-soo, and now he announced it, and so Young-soo like, I'm in a very sticky situation now. For whatever you did at the blind date, he likes you, now he wants to marry you. So Hari has to now go back and try to convince Tae-moo to not want to marry her. He refuses, and he's like, what's wrong with me? She says that he's really lame, he's cringy, and she calls him this type of bird. I can't pronounce it. I'll put the caption here. But Tae-moo still doesn't let it go, and he wants to marry Young-soo. He doesn't care, and things get complicated with how he keeps running into Tae-moo at the company. He ends up like chasing her down. He hasn't seen her face yet, but he remembers her name as she works on previous projects that he liked before. So like they keep bumping into each other and she has to keep running and hiding. And moving on, we get to see Young-soo. She's back at she's going to work and all these things like that, and she backs up her car and she hits another car, and the person that came out is Sung-hoo. They met before accidentally but in a convenience store, and she fell in love with him. Is when she saw him, like she said, flowers blooming, bursting and everything like that, and he was the one. She was so happy. She gave her business card to him, hoping he would call her to fix all the damage and everything. Sung-hoo seizes the car and realizes that her name is Ji Young-sung, the charitable girl, and he's confused because he's all like, you know, my boss went on a date with you and she looked nothing like you. And that's when Tae-moo realizes that they're both different girl. Young-soo admits to her that she's the real Young-soo and she hired someone to play her part because she didn't want to marry him. Tae-moo ends up meeting Hari and learns all the truth, but she still lied about her real name to him. She said her name is Shin Kum-hee, and he so that he wouldn't recognize her, that she works at his company. Calling off the wedding to Ji Young-sung, Tae-moo is now interested in Hari, and he wants to marry her. But like, you know, she still doesn't care about him, and the grandpa ends up sending him off on more dates, 10 dates per day, and he's so tired because he's like, these women are so boring and they're all alike. Their personality is so similar to his. He doesn't like them at all, and he finds that Kum-hee isn't boring and she's different, and he likes her. So he goes and proposes a relationship contract with Shin Kum-hee so that his grandfather would leave him alone on all the blind dates. His grandfather doesn't care who he marries as long as he's happily married, not a workaholic, and have a family. His grandpa's happy. So the same goes for Sang-hoo too, and we learned that Sang-hoo was actually adopted, and Sang-hoo is raised up like a brother to Tae-moo. So Hari rejects the contract in the first place, but Tae-moo is willing to pay her double so that she can, you know, play his fake girlfriend. So she agrees with it and she needs the money. Her family isn't doing well with their business, so she now becomes Shin Kum-hee as his fake girlfriend, and pretty much the love and everything starts to blossom between them. But soon, eventually, he's gonna find out who she is, and it's gonna cross over, and it's like, okay, is he going to accept who she is, you know, because she's actually a poor girl, she's not a rich girl, and you know, his grandfather doesn't really care. His grandfather's all like, I'm okay with whoever you marry as long as you're not a workaholic, because I'm so tired of being a workaholic, and because of me being a workaholic, it screwed things up for you, so I don't want you to be like that. So but yeah, I'm all over the place with the recap, but so far the drama's going so well. Ajushi and I, we really enjoy it. We watched, like, obviously reviewing it now, but we watched like we're catching up with the episodes already, and we're really enjoying it. So hopefully it turns out well. You know, we kind of don't have expectation for like how it's gonna turn out, but you know, the grandpa's a really nice guy, his character and everything, so it looks like, you know, once if she comes clean, Hari comes clean to her about everything, pretty much, you know, he's in love with her already at this point. He's not gonna care, he's just gonna go with it. But that is the recap of review for A Business Proposal. If you guys have not seen it, do check it out. It's really good. Ajushi and I, we think that Hyun-soo and Sejong, they match up really well with how their looks and everything, so, and the character they play, they match up really well, so we really do looking forward to it and to see how his drama turns out. But that's it for today's drama review, and I will see you guys next time.